Hi guys, it's Ben from T-Rex Space Station. How's everyone doing? I thought it would be fun to show off some of the more unusual shmups that I've managed to pick up on the Game Boy. This one's Aerostar, which is, I say unusual because it's got some very interesting mechanics to it. Basically, as you'll see, there's lots of little divots and holes and obstacles in the levels, and you've basically got to jump between them. So you're essentially land-based, but you can, for a very limited amount of time, take to the air. Which, it's kind of a restrictive mechanic that takes a lot of getting used to. But at least it's relatively kind of unique, I suppose. I'm trying to remember which power-ups I want. I think the V is a good one. Oh, no, I'll just take whatever I can get. So as you'll see, you're kind of playing on very narrow little corridors, so you've got to kind of maneuver very narrow little patterns of bullets and things. But then if I press the jump button, I can jump between bits of the level, so that's basically the core mechanic of the game. If you want to avoid getting killed, you've got to use that jump really wisely. And as you can see, there's a set power bar, so don't go for something really ambitious. If you try and jump over a huge body of water or something, you'll basically just plop in and run out of oomph. Oh yeah, I think V is good. Oh, good God. No, V. Yeah. This spread shot is really invaluable, and the reason why is because, as I said, everything is so narrow that it's really hard to hurt any enemies that are coming laterally. It's like very restricted. So do I enjoy it? I suppose it's okay. It's certainly not my favourite game, but it is at least one that's kind of novel. Oh, that's an interesting attack as well. It's like, that's another way of getting things that are at the sides. Although, what the hell? Oh, actually this is awful. It can only shoot sideways. I'm gonna have to get rid of this. Please give me some other kind of power-up, because this is awful. Oh, it does seem to fire out sideways. Right, I think I've got something else now. Oh god, now the enemies are shooting sideways. I've got no method of shooting forwards, though. Why would I ever want this attack? That was terrible. Okay, so basically it looks like there are 1 or 2 power-ups that are legitimately helpful, and a lot of really unhelpful power-ups. So you're probably getting the impression that this is a hard game, or the impression that I'm crap at games, but that's fine, you knew that right now. It is. This is on easy mode, and I find it quite frustrating. It's certainly not as fast-paced and fluid and responsive as some of the better shooters on this system. But anyway, I thought I'd show it off because it may be an interesting one if you're collecting shooters on the system. Now, I think I was asked by somebody recently whether there's a definitive list of Game Boy shmups. I actually haven't found one. There are some lists out there, but they're very much incomplete. I have kind of been working through various lists that I found through a bit of Googling, and I've just immediately died on the boss. That wasn't good. He's quite challenging, actually. But yeah, the lists that oh god, I've just taken 2 hits and died. The lists that I found all had omissions on them. So, well, maybe if I can pick up some and show them off to you guys, it will serve as a kind of guide to what games to keep an eye out for. Most of the shmups that I've bought are actually imported from Japan, and the reason for that, firstly, is that, well, there's a lot of the games that didn't come out in the West, obviously, but secondly, you get much better bargains, so I just do it that way. There's no problem. Game Boy didn't bother with region lock, so you buy whatever the hell you want. So basically my advice, my collection is actually a massive mixture of all kinds of different regions. I'm not particularly bothered about getting them all the same. Certainly not bothered about getting PAL only, because it seems to be that you pay more for those. So yeah, you gotta wait a bit longer for your games to come through, but I definitely think that getting a mixture of Japanese and American import games, if you're in England or PAL territories like me, is the way to go. And that's probably the only, well, that is the only way you're going to be able to get to see all the games anyway. Now, I am still continually keeping my eye out for a copy of Gunbird Zas. I don't know, it's just like, it's not a game I was even aware of that much, but because I know it's rare and so valuable, and it's just made it something that I want, it's like, man, it must be so good if it costs that much money. And I don't think that's necessarily necessarily true a lot of the time, but I think for that game it actually may well be. A lot of people said it's a game that really pushed the Game Boy to its technical limitations. And that was Gunbird Zaz, or it's not Gunbird Zaz, is it? Just something Zaz. It was a Japan-only release, and I think there weren't that many of them made, and it's really hard to get hold of, and it's good. So all of those things combined mean that it costs basically an arm and a leg. Looking online, it's like at least 280, 270 quid. Am I that into collecting shmups for the Game Boy that I want to buy that? Probably not. Especially as I've got a few that I've not completed yet that are well worth spending a bit more time with. If I'd got everything but that, then maybe. But I don't think I can justify that kind of level of expense, to be honest with you. No way. So I'm playing most of these games, or certainly recording them all. Oh, I've just got this crap power-up again. Using Super Game Boy or my Super Famicom. It's a bit temperamental though. The cartridge is a bit wobbly in the slot, so I often have to sort of wedge it with something to stop it from getting shaken. I hate this attack so much. There is no way... Oh man, I don't know how I survived that. Please give me something better. Yes, I sort of have to wedge a beer mat under the cartridge to stop it from shaking or it'll all crash. And I often have to, blow in the cartridges and restart it numerous times before I get it to work. Firstly, to recognise the actual Super Game Boy, and then to recognise the cartridge that's in the Game Boy. But that's kind of what we've come to love with retro games, right? It's sort of part of the experience, blowing in the cartridge. Not optimistic I'm going to be able to beat this guy because of my really bad weapon. Oh, I see, you hold down shoot. That makes it make a lot more sense. I'm still going to get my ass kicked. But you hold down shoot to make it go further. Am I actually damaging anyone here? I'm not sure you can even squeeze between that attack. Actually, dying is probably a good thing, because it means I get now a normal attack. I'm not confident I'm actually going to be able to beat this boss, because I suck at this game. And how the hell do I even damage him? Oh, there's an awful lot on screen. And I'm just really bad. Oh, he seems to be going down now. Didn't need all that much damage. Anyway, this is definitely one that may be worth checking out. It's not particularly expensive. It's not great, but it's alright. Take care and I'll speak to you all soon, guys. Bye.